Lesson 3, Estimating Products. Today you will use rounding or compatible numbers to estimate products of whole numbers. You will also hear the vocabulary words underestimate and overestimate. Okay, make sure that you have your book and turn to pages 62 and 63, as well as your notebook and pencil. On the top of page 62, I want you to take a look at estimating products, and we're going to look at this story problem here to introduce that to you. It says, how can you estimate products? All right, let's go ahead and read the story problem. Follow along with me. A store needs to take in at least $15,000 in sales per month to make a profit. If the store is open every day in March and takes in an average of $525 per day, will the store make a profit in March? Okay, so the first thing I want to do, excuse me, is to, I'm going to underline the question. And I didn't realize that you can't do that, but I want you to watch me underline the question so I know what I'm looking for. Okay, will the store make a profit in March? So we're going to end up being able to say yes or no, okay, with our proof. We have to have proof. Okay, and notice that there's a calendar here to help you because they talk about a month. So let's circle the important information. So we know that a store needs to take in at least $15,000 in sales per month. So I'm going to circle that to make a profit. If the store is open every day in March, okay, I'm going to circle that too. So we know we have to think about how many days are in a month or in March, and takes in an average of $525 per day. Okay, that information is going to help us find the answer to the question. Will the store make a profit in March? Okay, so we're going to estimate the products without finding the actual answer yet. Okay, and we'll do that by rounding. So on the top of page 63, you'll see that it says you can use rounding to estimate. Okay, so I know that 525 rounds to 500 and 31 rounds to 30. And if I already know, well, first of all, how do we know we're supposed to multiply those two? Okay, well, $525 per day, we know there's 31 days in March. If we multiply those two, we'll find the profit for that month. All right, so I know that 3 times 5 is 15. And I know with the patterns of zeros from the previous lesson, there are 2 zeros here and 1 0 here. So therefore, in my product, I've got a total of 3 zeros. Okay, so I got 15,000. All right, so now we have to determine, is that an underestimate or an overestimate? And it says here to the right, both numbers you used to estimate, were less than the actual numbers. So 15,000 is an underestimate. Okay, since I rounded 525 to 500. Lower than the actual number, and 31 to 30. Okay, so our estimate was 15,000, so we know they're going to make more than 15,000. Okay, the store will actually take in more than 15,000. So we can answer the question by saying that yes, the store will make a profit in March. Okay, so that was one example of how we can estimate products. Okay, so let's look at another example down below on page 62. It says, how can you use compatible numbers to estimate products? Okay, so we're going to look at this example here. Estimate 24 times 39. It says, you can also use compatible numbers to estimate products. It is easy to find 25 times 40 since 25 times 40 are compatible numbers. Okay, and I know that I talked about with a few of you that 25 times 4 is like saying 4 quarters and $1. So that's how I remember 25 times 4 is 100. Okay, and I know with patterns of zeros, okay, that 25 times 4 equals 100. There's already zeros in the answer plus the 0 that's in the 40. Okay, so I know that is 1,000. Okay, so that would be a good estimate for 24 times 39. Being that I had to round 24 up and 39 up, okay, then it's an overestimate. So 1,000 would be an overestimate. Okay, so that means the actual number is going to be less than 1,000. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the guided practice. Get your pencils ready. It says, in 1 and 2, estimate by using rounding. Tell if your estimate is an overestimate or underestimate. All right, so it says number 1, 58 times 6. Okay, so 58, I could round that to 60. Okay, I could round 6 up to 10, but I want to get closer to my actual answer, and I know what 6 times 6 is. So I think I can leave 6 as is. Okay, I know that 6 times 6 is 36. Okay, using the patterns of zeros, there's 1, 0, and 60, so I need to put that in my product. My answer is 360. Okay, write this along with me. All right, and then also I need to write, I don't have enough room here, but being that I rounded 58 to 60, I know that my actual answer would be less, so I know my estimate here is an overestimate, so I would need to write that as well. Overestimate. Okay, and I'm just going to abbreviate that there. Okay, all right, so let's look at number 2, 733 times 21. Okay, I could round 733 to 700. And then 21, I'm not going to leave it as 21 because 21 times 7 isn't quick for me to do in my head. So I'm going to round that to 20. Okay, and 7 times 2 I know is 14 plus the 3 zeros, so 14,000. Okay, you have to decide, is that an overestimate or underestimate? Being that I rounded down for both of them, I know then that my actual answer would be more, so it's an underestimate. Okay, so I need to write that down as well. All right, so let's look at 3 and 4. It says in 3 and 4, estimate by using compatible numbers. Tell if your estimate is an overestimate or underestimate. All right, so it looks like number 3, we need to use the associative property as well. 43 times 27 times 4. Okay, so I'm noticing 27 and 4. I could round 27 to 25. So I'm going to do those two first. Okay, so I would have 25 times 4, which I know is 100. So we just did that. Okay, and then I can do 100 times 43. Okay, to get 43, because that's 43 times 1. Oh boy, this is not looking good here. So my answer here, you can't really see it, but it's 4,300. Then you need to decide, is that overestimate or underestimate? What did I do with 27? I rounded down. So figure out what that would be, over or under. Okay, and go ahead and solve number 4 on your own. It's hard for you to see here on my page. Okay, pause and do that now. Okay, so you should have paused, and I rounded 38 to 40. I'm looking up here, and 69 to 70. So I got 2,800, which is an overestimate. Okay, so now for numbers 5 and 6, I want to see if you can solve those two problems on your own, okay, or with your partner, and before moving on to the independent practice. Do your best and good luck.